After his boss's daughter is kidnapped, Levon, a former military man turned working man, is forced to go back into his old life to track her down and rescue her from the human traffickers that have taken her. Film fans of YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Joshua, Movie Apprentice. Sorry for the delay in getting this one out. Technical problems, and as you tell, coming down with a bit of an illness. But today we are going to be looking at A Working Man, which is a film that I would have normally reviewed, but as usual, I put my poll out on the Fridays if there's multiple films to watch, and by Working Man considerably won that poll. So we are looking at A Working Man, directed by David Ayer and starring Jason Statham, Arianna Rivas, and Maximilian Osinski. This is a Jason Statham movie. If you like Jason Statham movies, you are going to enjoy this one. It is another one of those. He is a secret badass working a laid-back life. I mean, dragged back into it due to someone or someone in his life being wronged. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, you're gonna have a blast with the movie. But for me, when I go into these movies, I'm thinking, right, how bonkers are we gonna go with this? How insane are we gonna go? How entertaining is this going to be? Last year's The Beekeeper, I'm not gonna tell it was a great movie at all, but I will say I was thoroughly entertained by The Beekeeper. This year's Incarnation is A Working Man, and A Working Man for me is a movie that will not rank too highly on the Jason Statham is a badass totem pole of his movies, because whilst there are some things I like for example, I love that the person he's trying to rescue isn't a completely helpless damsel in distress. They are very much capable of handling themselves. However, when I'm thinking about this film, so the character has to somehow track it down by going from different leads. So he starts off with a bartender that seems to be involved in it, and then ends up following a body trail that he leaves behind to try and find leads and call in favors. And it's nice and interesting to see him not always actually know who's done it. He has to go through the lower echelon to the upper echelon of this organization. However, there are some times where that aspect of the film does get a little bit muddled and confusing. Like there's a key connection that he makes that I can't tell completely guarantees he is going to meet the individual that he is looking for. And it just completely happens to be that they are able to meet that particular individual. It became too overcrowded in antagonists. There was a good 4 groups that he has to fight in this movie that he assembles throughout the film's runtime. I thought a couple might have just chose to abstain from the conflict, but they fight because we need to give Jason Statham these cool action sequences, and there's not a single action sequence that stands out compared to the other ones. We'll have some characters that will play it straight as a pose, but there are other characters that feel like they're ripped straight from a Batman comic. There was literally 2 characters that would not look out of place in the series Gotham because of how bonkers they are and just their general look and appearance. As for that, it became a little bit overcrowded at times when it got to killing who we assume are the big names. It tends to be rather lackluster. And now we get into the performances. So one of the key aspects of this movie is that he's trying to do right by his little daughter. And look, I know we're supposed to give kid actors more of a pass, but we have seen some amazing child actor performances in the last decade or so. So when I'm seeing this actress just use the same tone from start to finish, use the same facial expression, I don't know, I couldn't really invest in the father-daughter dynamic and the thing that he's fighting for. There's several times where he talks about how he is a father and having the daughter changes a man in a big way, and no doubt it does do that in real life. But in this, I truly couldn't buy their relationship. And there was one particular sequence where, let's just say, the wrong man is targeted and they just leave that individual. I feel like in any other action movie, there would have been at least someone guarding this wrong individual in the hopes that the right person comes along. For me, that felt like there are a number of times in this movie where things happen because the plot demands it. And whilst every film does do that, they're good films, they hide that. They manage to obscure it or make it feel natural, whereas some, it is very blatant that certain events have happened or certain events have not been played the smart way purely because the plot needs to move forward to the next step. For all the build that we have of the antagonists in this, it just doesn't feel they're ever too much of a threat. He deals with pretty much everyone so easily, even the tough ones. The sequence goes from maybe a 10-second fight to a 30-second fight. There's no elongated fight sequence in it. There's obviously a lot of cuts in the action sequences. Again, if you're a fan of Jason Statham action movies. You're going to have fun with this one, but I just don't think it's really up there in terms of his action movies. I feel like Statham is charismatic as always, but the script in this is also a big letdown because it's a stereotypical, for the first 20 minutes of the movie, every scene is an exposition scene about how much everyone loves this character, how much he means to that character. You pulled me out of this war zone. There's a lot of stuff that people will just mention that this character will already know because we need the audience to know it. And that for me is one of those lazy tropes when it comes to script telling and storytelling. It's telling us why we should like the guy and not letting the performance speak for itself. Just felt there was a lot in this film that worked against it. Whilst it was an enjoyable enough movie to get through, and it's always fun watching Jason Statham just do badass Jason Statham things, this thing they rank very highly in terms of the totem pole of Jason Statham movies. Before I get into my grade, be a like on the channel, click the like button, and subscribe for more video reviews that come out all the time. But without further ado, let's grade this. So, Working Man is a classic Jason Statham film that features a lot of action, has a lot of expository dialogue, has a fair amount of drama, some very weak performances. It becomes very overcrowded in terms of its antagonist. When it comes to fighting the big antagonist, it feels very lackluster. There's no even ground to it. It's very much he just steamrolls through this very dangerous organization. And that for me, I don't know, I go in expecting the film to go balls to the walls when it comes to these Statham action films. But this one, it holds back. There are a couple of characters that do fully commit to the insane nature of the premise, but a lot of characters play it very straight and try to evoke a lot of emotional responses. But that is mainly driven by the script telling us to feel something. So for me, I don't think it's a very good movie, to be honest. I'd never say it for me. A Working Man is a cold cup of tea. So, Working Man, have you seen it? If you have that, you thought down in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite Jason Statham action movie is. Curious to see what it is. I would say, do not count any of the Fast and Furious movies. It has to be he has to be the leading man. That is my one rule there, which probably means Crank's going to come up a lot, and that's actually a very good movie. But regardless, coming up on the channel, this review came out late, so my Woman in the Yard review, I'm going to try and get out for tonight. Depends on my voice manages to hold up with these recordings. If not, it'll be tomorrow. And Death of Unicorn will also come out tomorrow. I am catching up. But until next time, everybody, I am Josh. I have been Movie Apprentice. And I'll see you all in the next video.